The Oyo Empire was powerful. Its king, the Alaafin, ruled over vast lands, but even kings feared the Oyomese, the council that held the absolute right to reject the king. A single rejection meant only one thing: unavoidable death. And this system of power would one day create a kingmaker more feared than the throne itself. This story is about Ga's fall and the beginning of Oyo's decline. After the fall and death of Alaafin Onishile, who was struck by lightning and left paralyzed and rejected by Bashorun Gaa, the Oyomese, Alaafin Labisi succeeded Onishile but was never crowned. Instead, on the 17th day of his reign, he was forced to kill himself after Bashorun Gaa, the then Oyomese, rejected him as the Alaafin. This rejection is done by sending an empty calabash or a meal of parrot eggs to the king. According to custom, once this was sent, the rejected king was expected to take his own life. Alaafin Labisi was not allowed into the palace nor to sit on the throne, and many of Labisi's friends and supporters were also executed by Bashorun Gaa. This marked the beginning of a deep rift between the Alaafin's throne and the authority of Bashorun Gaa within the Oyo Empire. After the death of Alaafin Labisi, Bashorun Gaa appointed Prince Hamopioju as the new Alaafin and demanded total submission from him. On the 130th day of his installation, Bashorun Gaa demanded the king prostrate before him, but the king refused, and this angered Bashorun Gaa, who then ordered his execution. After the death of King Awambioju, Bashorun Gaa installed Agboluaje as the new Alaafin. This new king avoided confrontation, knowing the immense power and influence Bashorun Gaa possessed. By this time, Bashorun Gaa had become extremely powerful. He controlled nearly all the responsibilities of the Oyo Empire. Tributes were paid directly to him. He appointed his sons, relatives, and loyalists to oversee major towns and provinces. His appointees oppressed the people, committing murder, abusing authority, and even selling people into slavery. The entire empire lived in fear, and even the king ruled in constant anxiety, knowing that his fate rested in the hands of Bashorun Gaa. The fall of Alaafin Agboluaje came with an incident involving his friend Elewi Odo, a king from another kingdom who visited during the Bebe festival. A festival held to honor the dead kings of Oyo with human sacrifice. Elewi Odo attended the festival, addressing the king, which angered the people of Oyo. The king begged everyone, stating the custom allowed everyone to appear at their best during the festival, and his friends' actions were part of the celebration. But Bashorun Gaa refused and declared war. Having been forewarned by the king, Elewi Odo fled and escaped Bashorun Gaa's wrath. Without knowing this, the king poisoned himself and died before his messengers returned with the news. After the death of Alaafin Agboluaje, Maji Ogbe became king. Maji Ogbe was already aware of Gaa's terror and influence on the empire. He had long resented Gaa and was determined to remove him. Bashorun Gaa no longer held the favor of the people as they lived in constant fear and oppression. After several attempts, the king succeeded in poisoning Gaa, causing him to become paralyzed in both legs. However, the death of Maji Ogbe came when one of his sons clashed with Gaa's followers in one of the towns where he held power. Bashorun Gaa was unforgiving. He demanded the life of the king in exchange for the offense committed by his son, and that was how Maji Ogbe met his end. After Maji Ogbe's death, Alaafin Abiodun was installed through Gaa's influence. Every morning, Alaafin Abiodun paid homage to Bashorun Gaa with presents. For many years, the king continued with the practice that Bashorun himself got tired of his submission and began looking for ways to kill the king. At this point, Bashorun decided to sacrifice one of his wives, Agboyin, who was the only daughter of the Alaafin. He used her as a substitute for a deer he could not find for his ritual, simply because her name sounded similar to Agborin, the Yoruba name for a deer. When Alaafin Abiodun heard what Bashorun had done, he began secretly plotting his destruction. The Alaafin secretly visited his friends Adegolu, the Baale of Alaka, for help to bring down Gaa. He sent messages to trusted allies and powerful war chiefs across the empire. Among them were leaders in neighboring territories who were ready to bring Bashorun down. The messages were passed in secrecy among major kings and provincial war commanders. In 1774, war broke out. The forces opposing Bashorun Gaa attacked his strongholds. Some of his own allies turned against him. King Abiodun and his allies declared open conflict and went to war with Gaa and his armies at Oyo Ile. After many deaths on both sides, Bashorun Gaa was captured. Bashorun pleaded for mercy and begged for his life to be spared, but the king refused. He was hung to death. And this was how the tyranny and reign of Bashorun Gaa came to an end. However, this marked the beginning of the decline of the military power and political unity of the Oyo Empire. Though the empire did not collapse immediately, it would take another 60 years for its complete fall. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more historical videos like this.